How's it, guys? This is Dayvy FPL and welcome back to the final video of this FPL season. A little bit emotional saying that, but I just wanted to give you guys a big shout out. Thank you so much for all the support that you've given the channel over this FPL season. I know it's been quite a weird season with the whole pandemic that's occurred and the break in play, but you guys have continued to support me throughout and I really do appreciate it. Don't worry, there will still be a lot of content coming up for that final Gameweek 38 plus deadline. More to come on that, but in this video we're talking about the Gameweek 38 team selection. We'll be going through how my squad got on in Gameweek 37 plus and then taking a look at a more differential free hit team selection. So a lot of people are asking me for a free hit squad that is a little bit more differential that they can kind of use if they want to catch up some points in their mini leagues, whether that be mini leagues or overall rank. It's still the same kind of premise, so I will be covering that. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So as I said, there will still be a lot of content coming up on Sunday afternoon. We'll be having our usual deadline with Dayvy live stream, but then we're going to have an interesting live stream that will be happening after the games have taken place. I'm going to be doing the match of the day challenge. Not really a match of the day challenge because I won't be watching the highlights. I simply won't be watching any football on Sunday afternoon, and then I'll be having a live reaction to the Fantasy Premier League website. We'll be going through the fixture list, who scored, who's got bonus points, and how the squad did overall. I think it's also a good opportunity to do kind of a season review and for you guys to let me know how you've got on in your mini leagues and whether you have won them or not. So a little bit of a different stream that we will be having on Sunday afternoon, but I think it was a good opportunity to do something a little bit different. But I can't really stress enough how important the deadline with Dayvy live stream is going to be, as we will be hopefully getting some early team news. If we don't get early team news, we're just going to have to adjust to it, and we will adjust to that situation. But in the deadline with Dayvy livestream, we'll be going over the final free hit squad. So that's basically the best chance to get the most confirmed team selection that we will be going into Gameweek 38 plus with. If you can't be there, a little bit unfortunate. I'll hopefully post a team maybe on Sunday morning of what I'm roughly thinking about, and we'll be talking about that a little bit later on. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a reminder and some more information about the live streams that will be occurring on Sunday. So Gameweek 37 wasn't the worst game week in the world, but it definitely wasn't the best. Unfortunately, we have seen a red arrow down to just above that 8k place, so still within the top 10k, so a nice foundation to go into Gameweek 38 plus with, but it's a little bit too close for comfort for me. I don't really want to be only 2k places within the top 10k. Would have liked a little bit more of a green arrow this week, but unfortunately that's just something that we're going to have to deal with. This week there was a lot of decisions that kind of didn't work out, especially with the transfers that we will be talking about in the overall team review of Gameweek 38. But we got 67 points, which was above the average, I do believe, but with that -4 hit, that only takes us to 63. So still above the average, but I think in the top 10k, that probably was a little bit of a below average score, which is the reason for the red arrow. But let's get on and see how the squad performed. So starting off in goal, we have Martinez. Arsenal unfortunately didn't keep a clean sheet in this one. I almost had a little bit of an expectation for Martinez to get some returns here, which I guess is the wrong thing to go by. In the previous game weeks, when we have been saying that Martinez has no pressure on him because he's so cheap and it's a tough opposition, that he can get any amount of points he wants, but unfortunately when we do expect him to get points, he doesn't get anything. Still a good option at 6.3. I see a lot of people bringing him in for their free hit squads just because of how cheap he is. Unfortunately, he did not do well in the defense, but the rest of the defense did really well. We have Doherty there with 12 points, only bested by Trent Alexander-Arnold with 13, but Trent Alexander-Arnold not keeping the clean sheet, but got a free kick goal, lovely goal there, and then also an assist, whereas Doherty just got the assist and a clean sheet, which is perfectly fine. I was really happy that he finally got an attacking return, because we've kind of been holding on to him for this time because of that attacking return. Then we have Serge Aurier, who came off the bench for the likes of Saiz, who was surprisingly benched. I think those points would have cancelled each other out. I'm pretty sure Saiz would have got 6 points, but you know him, he always loves a yellow card, so it might have been 5, so at least Serge Aurier came on in that case. The rest of the midfield did not perform as to my liking. The likes of Fernandes, we spoke about him looking a little bit more tired, and Manchester United overall not looking too great, and unfortunately that was the case against West Ham. I've even heard some things about West Ham being the better side on the day, but that game did end 1-1, and luckily Martial did get a return there with 5 points doubled to 10. A little bit of a disappointing captaincy, but I would take it, as kind of my other captain consideration would have been the likes of Danny Ings or Salah. So he scored the same amount of points as Salah with 5. And then Morris was probably the most disappointing player. I really had high hopes for him, especially because he was brought off early in that FA Cup fixture, so I thought that he would start. That wasn't the case, only came off for the last of, I think, 26 minutes, and unfortunately didn't get anything in that game, whereas De Bruyne, just with 1 assist, is one off that assist record, so that's something that we're going to be talking about going into Game Week 38. The front line with Chris Wood, 7 points is good, but I think it's a little bit of an L considering Norwich only had 9 men. So only 1 goal against 9 men is a little bit disappointing for me, and I thought that definitely with 11 men, Burnley could have done a lot better, whereas with 9 men, they definitely could have. So Chris Wood, a little bit disappointing there. And then unfortunately, Danny Ings went and missed a penalty. Sorry for those of you who did captain him. That's a really hard pill to swallow, but with that missed penalty was a massive point swing. If he did score that penalty, he would have probably gone on for 3 bonus points as well, and then we would have definitely been looking at a green arrow, and that -4 hit would have paid off. So the -4 transfer this week was Connolly and Jesus out for Wood and Ings. So off the bat, that move looks good, but if I didn't transfer out the likes of Connolly, I would have just simply played Greenwood, and on the bench there you see Greenwood with a lovely 9 points stuck on the bench there. So that hit definitely did not pay off and was kind of a negative loss in points, which is a little bit disappointing. Then on the bench, Button, Saïs, and Lascelles did not feature, and those all got 0 points. So relatively, as I said, not the worst game week in the world, but definitely not the best. And going into Game Week 38, hopefully we can get back on that green arrow train. So the transfers this week, it's going to be a free hit. So unfortunately for you guys who don't have your free hit, I won't be sharing any transfers that I would do. Probably the likes of Sterling would be someone that I look to get in. So if you don't have your free hit, I probably would go for Sterling. And one thing I wanted to mention about the free hit that is quite important is please make sure you have a safe bus team. The reason I'm saying this, as with me, I'm kind of waiting for the as late as possible into the deadline to kind of make my team because of that early transfer news. But with the FPL website being a little bit unpredictable sometimes, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a ton of traffic, and I don't want you guys to be locked out of the site and not be able to change your side because of the site being down. So please just make a safe bus team, whether that be taking out the likes of Salah, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Just be 100% sure that you don't want to have them in your squad at the final minute because you're probably not going to be able to get those players back with that loss in value. So just as I said, please have a safe bus team that you're pretty happy with, safe captaincy option if need be, but overall the squad looks good before that deadline. And if need be, you can change it if the website is still up. Hopefully it will be, but I just don't want to have any tears going into that Game Week 38 deadline with people who can't get on the website. So this is the differential team selection / free hit draft that I am considering, and I think you should consider if you are looking to rise up your ranks. The reason being this is a little bit more differential than usual is we have a severe lack of Wolves and Man United. Those players are highly owned wherever you are in the ranks, top 10k or overall, but with players without a free hit, they generally are going to have a lot of Wolves and Man United players. As you can see in this draft, I'm not really going to count Williams because I think he's going to be on the bench. But with Greenwood, that's the only player from Wolves and Man United that we do have. So we're kind of negating their points. They have tougher fixtures, Wolves versus Chelsea, and then United against Leicester. You kind of have to decide to yourself if you think that those players can do well in that game, then just bring them in. Otherwise, this is going to be why it's differential. So Greenwood is the only United option we're going for. We've gone heavily into the Spurs and Man City attacks with Serge Aurier complementing the likes of Son and Harry Kane. And then my 3 favorite Man City midfielders, we have Sterling, De Bruyne, and David Silva. I spoke about in the ultimate guide to Game Week 38, link down below if you want to check it out. But Sterling, De Bruyne, and David Silva all have something to play for in this one, and that's why I think they're going to do quite well. Overall, Man City are playing Norwich, and that should be a whitewash. I'm thinking quite a high integer there to 0 for Man City. We've also gone for the likes of Salah, but if you want to go mega differential, I probably would go for the likes of Mane. Mane is owned by only 10% of the top 10k, where Salah comes in at about 30%, so that's something that you got to consider. And I've also opted for that double Burnley defense. So a lot of people own the likes of Nick Pope, whereas in our case, we've gone for Peters and Bardsley. You can also go for Kevin Long. He is coming in at 4.3, so you'll be able to afford him, but it's also more of a differential there. And with Serge Aurier, he's also not owned by a lot of people. So this is my differential draft I would go for. The differential captain I would opt for. It depends on the rest of your mini league. If you have to catch up a lot of points, I would go for a differential captain like Harry Kane. If you can still be quite safe, then I would go for Man City. And also, if maybe your top player doesn't own Sterling, I would definitely be looking at him. With Greenwood, you could always upgrade him. I think this draft had about 1.3 in the bank, so all of you guys should be able to afford him. But if you do still have money, you could go Greenwood to Calvert-Lewin. I know that sounds like a crazy move to do because Calvert-Lewin hasn't scored in forever, whereas Greenwood scored this past game week. But with Calvert-Lewin, he is playing the likes of Bournemouth, who have to win that game. So I'm pretty sure they're going to be attack, which could lead to maybe some counter-attack goals for Calvert-Lewin. But this is a differential draft, please. This is not my team. I know there was a lot of comments on my Twitter about a differential draft, and please let me do one. So I did it for you guys. The final team, as I said, will be announced on the Deadline with Dayvy live stream. So hopefully you guys are there. So captaincy this week is going to be really boring. I can't see past Manchester City. Obviously, as I said, in that draft, you could go mega differential, maybe the likes of Salah, Mane, Harry Kane, maybe even Aubameyang if you favor him. But I would only go for those assets if you have to go differential. Otherwise, I think Manchester City is pretty safe. Hopefully we do get early team news, then just basically go for the player that is starting that you think will do well. And my personal favorite is going to be Sterling. If he does start, he will 100% be my captain. I just think he's in great form right now. And I mean, he's still going for that golden boot. If that's not enough, he's still going for that 20 goals a season record that he said is quite good for a winger. So that's definitely going to be at least one goal against Norwich, you should think. Whereas Kevin De Bruyne is also going for the assist record, so he could also be a nice safe option, as he does generally do quite well. So this is basically going to be my captaincy. It's going to be a Manchester City, but for you, it's going to be more situational. So this is going to wrap up the video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Please like it if you did, and subscribe if you're new, have not subscribed yet. Otherwise, I'll be checking you guys on that Deadline with Dayvy live stream and the match of the day reaction stream coming up on Sunday afternoon/evening. Otherwise, follow me on Twitter for all confirmed videos and when we do go live for those streams. I'm going to be signing off. This has been Dayvy FPL, and I'm out. Cheers. Bye.